John 18, 1 to 11. So Judas betrayed Jesus. Jesus went away with his disciples into a garden that was known to Judas because they have often met there. And then so Judas, he went with a Roman cohort, an officer from the chief priests and Pharisees, and they came with lantern, torches, and weapons. And I think Luke is the only one who kind of like talked about this night or John was the one who talked about this night in this great a detail. And then so he asked them, "Whom are you seeking?" And they told him who it is. Maybe it was dark. They might think that this is just someone. They didn't really know that it was Jesus yet. And then when Jesus said, "I am he," people drew back and fell to the ground, like the force of his words. And then so he asked again, "Whom are you seeking?" And then they answer again, and maybe this time a little bit more fearful. Not sure how it played out, but I don't think they connected it at that point. Not sure, or maybe they connected it, but they still were afraid, so they just answer him. They're unsure of what to do with him, and so he allowed them to take him. So he pretty much told them to let his disciple go, just take him and don't harm his disciple. I think it's the idea behind his word. So if you are seeking me, let these men go on their way, his disciples. And then he said that he lost not one, except for the one that was already, that was never his, Judas. And this mirror one of the words that he said previously in near the Last Supper. And then Simon Peter had a sword, drew it, struck the high priest's slave, and cut off his right ear. And so John was very clear about what happened. He remembered the details, the conversation, what went on, because he was in that group. He was an eyewitness. However, we know that in Mark, from the case, Cold Case Christianity, and other books written by Mr. Wallace, or Detective Wallace, we know that Mark was kind of like a friend of Peter, and so Mark did not include such detail to kind of like save face for Peter. But we know that John was kind of writing it as an eyewitness and wrote exactly about what happened, and it kind of fit Peter's kind of like reactive and very very reactionary personality, very spontaneous also, and very, I think, emotional. And so he probably was afraid. He saw all these people with all these weapons and torches, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta defend my master." The thing is that when Jesus willingly gave himself up, I think at that point, I think if Jesus were to fight, Peter would have been there right by his side, and he wouldn't have been afraid. It's when Jesus kind of gave up that Peter didn't know what to do, and that's when he was afraid, because he's lost. But so Peter was wanting to fight for Jesus. But Jesus said to Peter, "Put the sword in the sheath. The cup which the Father has given me, am I not to drink it?" So Jesus, we know he prayed about it, to not have to drink the cup, but he knows also that it's the Father's will that he drink it fully to the last drag. So he is fully committed to carrying out the Father's will and to finish the Father's will. And that's, I've never thought about the events here during the betrayal in this great of a detail, but talking it through really helped me to visualize and to understand the different perspective and feelings of the people involved.